Hello and welcome to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking all about pine needle tea. What are some of the benefits of pine needle tea? What are some of the conditions and ailments that can be treated with pine needle tea? And what are those things that you should be aware of before you decide to use pine needle tea? Now, pine needle tea has been used for thousands of years in Far East Asian cultures, especially in traditional Chinese medicine. But before you run out and get pine needle tea, I have to caution you, I'm not a medical professional, so none of what I'm going to say is considered medical advice. Please do your own research. I'm merely trying to bring awareness to some of these traditional medicines that are out there. Now let's get into the benefits of pine needle tea. Number one benefit of pine needle tea is it's been known to treat respiratory viruses. And that is very relevant given what we are facing today. Now, pine needle tea is known to have a very high concentration of vitamin C, often 4 to 5 times the amount that is contained within a glass of orange juice. Now, none of this is validated, so it's based on merely the research that I've come across. Now, it's also known to inhibit the spike protein, which is very relevant given what we're currently facing. But because of the levels of censorship, this information obviously doesn't get out there. Now, if you're someone who's looking for something more holistic, then this may be something that you want to consider. Now, the other benefit of pine needle tea is that it also contains vitamin A, which could be helpful for people who have vision ailments or wish to use it as a preventative for vision ailments. The other thing that's really beneficial about pine needle tea is that it's helpful in terms of protecting the DNA. And we all know what these jabs are doing to the DNA. So having something like pine needle tea might be helpful in terms of giving the body more tools to be able to protect your DNA from something that might be trying to interfere or to challenge your DNA. Now, that is because pine needles are high in antioxidants. And given the amount of stresses that our body is being faced with today, from pollutants to environmental factors to the foods that we consume that are contaminated with pesticides, your body is often being faced with a whole host of pollutants. And everything that we can do to try and help the body to cope with these levels of toxicity is definitely going to be something we want to be considering as we go further down the line. Now, the other thing it's very helpful for is improving heart health. And given the impact of the jabs on the heart, as well as people developing heart inflammation and all sorts of other conditions, this is something really good to know and to be able to include in your arsenal. Now, the other aspect that's linked to that is its anti-inflammatory characteristics. Now, because of all these toxins and everything that our bodies are now having to deal with, it often reacts to it with inflammatory responses. Now, having something that is anti-inflammatory is often helpful in terms of supporting the body to be able to reduce the inflammatory levels. And that is why pine needle tea is super good natural supplement to take to be able to help our bodies cope with all these toxins as well as the stresses that it's currently facing. Now let's look at some of the other benefits. So it's known to boost the immune system as well as to improve the circulation in our body. And we all know with the sedentary lifestyles that we're leading, we need to find things that can help improve the circulation in our body. Now, the other benefit that's going to appeal to a lot of you is the fact that it's helpful, or I shouldn't say fact, because it's based on research and none of it is being scientifically proven. But according to what I've read, is that it's helpful in terms of improving cognitive function. Now, that is really beneficial for people who have stressful jobs from a mental capacity perspective. And that is something that we could all use a bit more of, something to help support our minds and to improve our cognitive function. So I guess that sums it from a benefit perspective. So let's move into what are some of the things that it's known to treat or prevent. Now, some of the conditions that it's known to prevent or help treat is, as I mentioned before, the respiratory viruses and conditions, inflammatory conditions. The other thing that it's helpful for is to prevent blood clots or mini clots, as well as shedding that comes from spike protein. Now, it's also been known to be helpful with another side effect of the jab, which is heavy menstrual cycles. Especially if you're a woman who's suffering from that, then you might want to consider this. Now, these are quite a lot of benefits for something that's a natural substance, and that is why it's been getting a lot of attention for people who are searching for natural alternatives to be able to support their bodies during this really stressful time. Now, let's get into what are some of the things that you should be aware of. So if you are someone who is pregnant or who is planning to get pregnant in the next few months, then pine needle tea should not be used by you because of its potential to result in miscarriages. Now, if you're in that circumstance, you definitely don't want to be risking taking something like pine needle tea. Now, in all other instances, please do your research. It has been known to present a whole host of benefits, and in that case, it's a natural medicine that may be worthwhile including in your daily regimen. So with that, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, leave it in the comment section below. And if not, I wish you the best of health and all the best in natural health and wellness and vitality. I'll see you in my next video.